Welcome to the 8th edition of the Free and Safe in Cyberspace. We just admitted a few participants. Now we have 17 in. I think that we'll just get started and wait for the others to join in. There's about 53 signed up and there's 20 speakers. So the first thing I want to do is thank you so much to taking the time now after COVID, with the summer coming around, taking some time to go and look at Zoom again. Now it's a sign of belief on what we're doing, so we're really appreciative of that. Many of the people that are attending here are people that attended previous editions of the Free and Safe in Cyberspace, or have been supporters for a long time here. So I'm really happy to gather together here a little bit of a community. I mean, there's going to be a few which are have maybe a reservation of what we do, but most is a little community. So I thank you for joining us with the advisor and the speakers. So let me introduce, we're very honored to have Niggli, which is the Deputy Secretary General of Geneva, which has make himself available to introduce today and tomorrow the event, and he got some informed and interested in our initiative. Nicolas not only is Deputy Secretary General, participates to several events and initiatives to promote Geneva as economic development and a place where digital technology and trust can actually create economic development and also other benefits. But he was for about 20 years a high official in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, representing Switzerland at the WTO. That was for 15 years, and for about 5 years at the Department of Swiss Foreign Affairs in London, being the head of the Science, Economic and Innovation division. So we're very honored. So not only he brings represent high up Geneva, but also brings a lot of expertise on technology and how technology can bring economic development and maybe also sovereignty and democracy and other goods which are not less important. Thank you, Nicolas.
Thank you so much, Rufo. Thank you so much for having me. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good afternoon to you all. I hope you're doing great on this sunny, beautiful summer day. It's a great honor and pleasure to very briefly address you this afternoon in this 8th edition, already 8 here, Rufo, of the Free and Safe in the Cyberspace Conference. And as this conference is getting started. So thank you so much for having me. Just a few introductory remarks from myself. How important is it to be able to benefit from free and safe cyberspace? And how to get this going from a practical standpoint, taking into account the fundamental necessity to be inclusive and sustainable? These are, to me, certainly clearly the questions which we will address the next 2 days. Given the exponential development of computing power, the exponential development of the capacity to connect digitally, and the very profound and transformational effect of the digital space on the way we all, whether we are governments or businesses or citizens, how we do all function, the way we respond to those questions I asked right before does matter a lot. Based on recent trends and impacts of cyber war and cyber espionage and cyber criminality, it is even turning very truly into a Shakespearean reality or a Shakespearean question: to be or not to be, physically, not just digitally. Dear friends, digitalization is very clearly presenting us with new pathways of opportunity to create deeply empowering prospects. I think we do all recognize that. Digital tools can positively transform our capacity to deliver new solutions in almost every sector of government and business, impact lives positively, and dramatically accelerate our transition towards a more sustainable future. But as I just hinted to, there are two sides to every coin, even if it's a crypto coin. The profound transformation of we are going through, and the fact that the cyberspace becomes an ever-growing part of our lives, also creates significant challenges to tackle, which we certainly cannot underestimate. We just have to look at the headlines to understand how the internet and the cyberspace can be misused to create division, distrust, repression, and so much more. Fundamental values are at stake. And the question is not anymore, when will we be attacked? When will we be spied on? But when will we notice that we have indeed been attacked, spied on, and how can we get more resilient when we face such attacks or such attempts to spy on what we are doing online? Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, the timing of this hybrid conference and your choice to hold it in Geneva is a confirmation of three important elements to me. The first is really your belief and your trust, and I thank you very much for that Geneva's abilities to serve as a platform of discussion for highly sensitive issues and our ability to offer solutions for some of the most complex subjects of our time does deliver. This role of a neutral and secure ground is more important than ever, as illustrated by the cyberspace-related discussions that just happened between President Biden and President Putin and their respective teams here in Geneva 8 days ago. It's in Geneva, it is Geneva, but more generally Switzerland's conviction that we need more discussions and especially more action across the board, as well as a willingness to be innovative and audacious in terms of finding solutions working for humanity at large. And I really hope and trust today's and tomorrow's hybrid debates in this conference will be held exactly in this spirit. The second point I wanted to make here is really, I believe this holding of this conference, the focus of this conference is a clear signal of your strong conviction that the pressing issues related to cybersecurity, cyber resilience and privacy, but also transparency, must allow a multi-stakeholder and multidisciplinary approach. This capacity to bring together a wide range of expertise is crucial if we want to give ourselves a chance to solve the biggest challenges of our time. One speaks often about the power of AI these days, but at this stage, the capacity to bring together bright natural intelligences is fortunately still decisive. So I'd like to congratulate the organizers of this conference and you, Rufo, especially, for a super lineup of deep thinkers. This is promising intellectual fireworks during those 2 days. The third element I'd like to highlight here is really this confirmation through you holding this conference here that Geneva's attraction power when it comes to digital governance is clearly on the rise. More than 50% of global discussions on digital rules making and standards creation are already happening here. The UN Digital Roadmap, which is very Geneva-centric, the recent launch of the Cyber Peace Institute, but also the creation of the so-called Trust Valley, regionally here between the canton of Vaud and the canton of Geneva, is all of these initiatives dealing with innovation in digital trust are clearly confirming that trend. And your intention to launch and develop your governance and certification body in Geneva will only add to this rich ecosystem. Dear friends, I'd clearly fail my mission if I would not conclude by mentioning the humanitarian tradition Geneva has proudly nurtured since the creation of the Red Cross. It's in this city that many important pages were written in the history of global cooperation with a very, very specific focus on the multilateral management of technology's impact on humanity. That human factor, it turns out, is also often still identified as the weakest link in a given cybersecurity chain. So our collective goal here must therefore clearly be to find win-wins rather than trade-offs in terms of crafting innovative, inclusive, and sustainable digital governance solutions. In this upcoming age of AI, it's crucial that the cyberspace serves as a force for the promotion of humanitarian values, personal and collective growth, and more generally, as a launchpad for a positive future for humanity. Geneva is the place where for more than 150 years, technology has met humanity. May that Geneva spirit guide your discussions over the next two days. Thank you so much for your presence in this conference, to all of you listening to us, and many thanks for your kind attention. Thank you, Rufo. The floor is back to you.
Thank you so much, Nicholas, for your great introduction. And it really confirms our choice that Geneva is the right place because of the international affairs, international institutions, expansion to also humanitarian work. And so it really is the perfect place to be. And we really much also appreciate your forward-looking vision, because we're not about just solving today's problem, but we want to really look towards AI. And so that's why, even though we are about cybersecurity, we're entering an age of AI. So I really appreciate your long vision. I'm not sure we will be able to fulfill your expectation of intellectual fireworks, but for sure we'll try to be interesting and have some fun conversation.